Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another YouTube Artist Collective piece, and this will be the second one that I have joined in for. I am absolutely not an official member. I'm just joining in for the grins and giggles, so I really hope that you guys like my artwork and you like my interpretation of the word versus. This illustration was kind of difficult for me to get started with because, well, when I first heard the prompt was going to be versus, I don't know, I didn't know how to feel about it, and I was just really disappointed in it. I kind of wanted the plants prompt to win, but you don't always get the exact prompt you want every time, and honestly I integrated plants into this anyways, so I guess I still got my way in the end. When I sat down to start sketching out ideas for this illustration, I finally kind of realized how versatile and open to interpretation the prompt really was, because not only could you do varying things, this versus that, some person might do, fire and ice, or, an actual battle, things like that, dragons fighting, but you could also go really kind of conceptual with it. So as I thought about it more and more, I realized that it was actually kind of an interesting prompt for everybody to suggest, and I'm super duper excited to watch everybody else's videos. I am recording this voiceover the night before, and I'm just so happy because I know tomorrow I'm gonna have so many art videos that I can watch, and it's gonna be wonderful. I love days like this where I can binge watch a whole bunch of art channels. Sometimes I get disappointed because I'll find a new artist and I will binge through so much of their library, and then I'm like, oh, now I have to wait for, weekly videos. Boo. Anyways, let's get started on the actual artwork here. I really wanted this to kind of have a really illustrated look, and I kind of wanted a lot of detail with the plants, and in all honesty, I kind of crapped out on some of the detail because I don't really know why. I just feel like it wasn't really necessary once I got a lot of the inking done, but I really like the way it came out. Oh, I should probably mention that I decided to interpret this versus prompt as being life versus death, and I originally had an idea of something with a skull and was just searching through random images on Google, and I found this photo of a human skull, but it had a bonsai tree growing out of it, and I felt that was kind of really interesting and macabre, and I really liked the idea, so I thought I would go ahead and illustrate something like that. I know it's not the most creative idea in the world, and it's been done, by other artists, but I don't know. I like drawing plants, and I've been trying to, in general, do some more kind of steady-ish drawings, so I feel like my sketches leading up to this piece were some good little studies, though I could always use some more. Once I knew that I wanted this to be, well, when I was first putting this piece together, I had mentioned that I was going to make it really detailed, so my fine liner of choice for very detailed stuff is always my UniPin Fineliners, and recently I finally got in the mail a few dark and light gray ones that I had ordered, so I was really excited to go ahead and be able to put those guys to use and to get to test out the difference in what the gray line art looked like compared to the black. And honestly, I love the light gray fine liner that I picked up. It's actually really cool, and I think would be really, really good if you like that kind of sketchy, really light colored look, but you don't like your pages smudging together. So I definitely suggest it for that. These are the colors and sizes that I ended up using for this piece. And I love these because you can see on there they're water and fade proof, and I have had no issues with them with Copics, with inks, and I use my inks a lot like more like watercolor or painting. So it should be a testament to how well they stand up, and I very rarely have to replace them, and that's only when I'm like going ham on my illustrations like I have been the past year or so. I really wanted to keep the color palette for this whole piece kind of desaturated. I wanted to convey like a difference in color between the skull and all of the foliage growing out of it, but at the same time I didn't want it to be this like huge shift. Like I didn't want it to be super obvious and like do grayscale for the skull and then bright colors for all the plants because it's life versus death. I wanted it to kind of nod in that direction, but not necessarily scream it. So I kind of left like the roots that are coming out of the skull, they're kind of a little bit darker to try and convey a little bit of shading and kind of depth to it. But other than that, I tried to keep the pieces that were like going out, I don't know, a little bit more vibrant at least, even if I didn't want like a super stark difference between the two. I love drawing plants so flippin' much, and after all of my witch coloring book illustrations, I mean, I have a few plants that I can kind of like think of how to draw out of my head now, so that's super duper helpful for, especially for all my witchy drawing. There's just so much use for wonderful plant illustrations. I should get a plant tattoo. I wonder why I haven't already. This is getting severely off topic. I will check back in with you guys a little bit later on in the video. If this is the first time any of you are finding my channel, welcome. Hello, it is so good to have you here. I am a fairly new artist here on YouTube. I have only been in the community for a few months, but I'm absolutely loving it, and I am a serial binge watcher of other art YouTubers. So if you guys have an art channel and I haven't already found you and subscribed to you and you're watching this video, totally leave me a comment down below so I can check out your channel and your artwork. I always love finding new artists so that I can go and binge watch all of their videos, and I usually put them on in a big block while I'm drawing and stuff because, oh my gosh, some of you guys here online are super, super inspiring. And I'm saying a lot of this random stuff because typically these videos of mine get more traction than any of the other ones, so I want to say my thank yous here so more people can hear them, I guess. So for this piece, I ended up using my UniPin Fineliners, which I already kind of went over a little bit, my Copic markers, which are a pretty norm staple here on my channel, and I also decided to try and use some of my old Prismacolor colored pencils to add a little bit more texture and depth to especially the skull. But after I had applied it to the skull, I felt kind of like that one texture stood out a little bit too much. I know I'm talking about it before it actually shows, but it actually goes by a lot quicker than the marker, so I wanted to get it in here a little bit early. Anyways, I felt like adding the colored pencil texture just to the skull was a little bit too jarring, like it made the two things a little bit too different, so I went ahead and applied some of the colored pencil to the tree as well as a couple of the plants. And I think with the little succulent, when I added the little bit of colored pencil to it, it almost gave it one of those like fuzzy plant looks. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than that. It kind of have like a really light fuzzy velveteen kind of texture, and I feel like it just kind of added that a little bit, and I really enjoyed it a lot, and I might have to start using this technique a little bit more in my general art. Here are all the supplies that I ended up, those are the few little chows that I ended up using, and then I have all of my Copic sketch markers. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching all the way till the end, and I hope to see some of you guys next week. Also, don't forget to check out all of the other awesome YouTube Artist Collective artwork floating around today. It's gonna be awesome. There are always playlists. You guys can find it. I believe in you.